Okay, folks, we'll get started in 1 minute. Okay, good evening all. I'm Nelson Boasted. I'm your MC for this evening. Welcome along to the second part of the show and welcome anyone listening in. Isn't it going? Is it going? Well, I've tried both switches off and on. Okay. Now, can you hear me? Okay, we're starting again. Welcome along to the second part of this evening's program. I'm Nelson Boasted. I'm your MC for this evening. Welcome also anyone listening from home now or in the future. And do we have any first-time visitors here tonight? Okay. Well, you'll all have to bring one next week, okay? Now, the first thing I'll take from this morning's session is that we need a location for the next winter school, and I'm going to suggest Skye, but maybe it's a bit far to go. Okay. First of all, Dennis would like a couple of words as notices.
Right, as you all know from your email now, we're going to try our first combined social and winter meal next week. The format is still a bit fluid at the moment, and I just want to sort of go back when I was young, and I think it's the motto between myself and friends always seems to be it's fair enough and give and take, and I felt it's a very Kiwi thing. And so I like the social to be like that. I know that I've asked people to put in $25 for those who want to book a meal, but really I think meal and food is just part but not all of it. And if you're still willing to contribute, if you like, that will be open until about Friday, Saturday night. However, don't feel you can't come if you have not contributed, because for socials, I think important thing, bring your humor, bring your conversation, your listening ear, have a laugh, relaxed. And after the meal, what we have is the group or crowd captioning activity, if you like, which you can submit through the showcase. Now for that, I need you to bring your dry humor, your sort of analysis, your fun, etc. And then we'll see how we get on. But I would ask for those willing and able, come a little bit earlier and stay a little bit later, because the lady Katsuko, which is providing the meal, it's meal. It's not fair to lumber her with, setting up and cleaning up. And I think it's all part of getting involved. Is all part of the social and part of the fun, really. So hope to see as many of you there as possible. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
7 o'clock. And just to add to that, for those of you who's got a nutcracker, please bring it.
Okay. Are there any more notices from anyone? Right, in that case, we'll get on to the main event, to coin a phrase. Nicola is going to take us through the natural history projected image number 2.
Let's start off by just introducing our judge for the evening. His name is Murray Cave. He is he's based in Gisborne, and he enjoys wildlife and action. He's into photojournalism and creating blurry photography. When he's not out taking photos, he's a geologist by training and works primarily in the oil and gas industry and the environmental sectors. Paul Murray, he got a bit caught up with all the storms in the last week, so he only actually managed to finish the judging yesterday for us. So we got there, so that was pretty lucky. So thanks, Murray, for the efforts that you put in for that, if you're listening. He's now based in Gisborne, as I mentioned, and he's a principal scientist for the Gisborne District Council. He's a member of the PSNZ, the Nature Photographic Society of New Zealand and the Greymouth Photography Club and the Kapiti Club. He's an accredited PSNZ photographic judge, and he's also he was a past president of the Photographic Society of New Zealand. I've asked Alan to do the reading tonight. I know he's going to do a lot better than the Italian than what I could. So thank you very much, Alan. And without
welcome.
further ado.
Damsel, male, banded damsel, damosel. Sorry, I missed that bit, the last bit. Needs sharpening, lots of potential here, but just not sharp enough. Miro Miro Tomtit. Lots of opportunity here, but there are too many distracting elements. The action is good with the bird caught mid-call, but sharpness has been lost. There's a lack of detail in the breast feathers, which are smudgy. Northern New Zealand dotterel. Heaps of potential with this shot, but not really sharp enough, and the depth of focus is too narrow. Lots of potential here, but just too out of focus. These guys take their time, so you would have had the opportunity to get it sharp. Australian crusader bug, Mictus profana. Nice composition, although it would have been good to have seen head on. Colour detail and sharpness on the carapace is good, but softness sneaks in by the time you get to the head. Hanging lichen. There was a lot of potential here, but to achieve that you needed to get in close so that the full details of the lichen were captured and with sharpness to add interest. The photographer has stepped back and thus lost connection with the subject. Now, lotus flower, Nalumbo, sorry, it's gone. Lovely image of this lotus flower in a pond. These are ubiquitous in Asia, particularly in ponds at the various accommodations you end up staying at when travelling. I can't tell the situation. Anyway, while the flower has been captured very well, I would have preferred the image to have been simplified by cropping out the dominant leaf at the top. Matuku moana, the white-faced heron. Overall, sharp enough view of this white-faced heron, and there's enough of its face showing to add interest. The blue colour looks a bit off, and there's some loss of feather definition. Aplysia dactylomelia. Interesting shot of the sea slug and brownie points, as I've never seen one of those in a rock pool. Good colour and reasonably sharp. Score 3, New Zealand shoveler. Nice and sharp overall, but the colour is a bit off, possibly because of the fall off in light. Love the colour on the water, a bit too central. Male mallard duck, Anas platyrhinochus. I think that's how you say it. Great action shot of this mallard taking off. You can tell by the water droplets. Nicely muted, background sharp enough, but a bit shaded around the eye. I don't mind the loss of detail on the wing. It conveys motion. Purple-veiled slippery jack, Cilius luteus, Cold Creek, West Coast. A lot of potential here with good colour and an acceptable composition, let down by the distracting elements, green leaves behind on left. Highlights also detract a bit, as do the spots of direct light, I imagine he's meaning to say, on the cap. One of my arsenal of fungi tools is a lens cleaning blower to brush away the dirt. Eristalis tenax, dronefly on a hebe flower. Bees and insects in general are hard to get perfect, but this is a reasonable attempt. You can see the facets on the compound eye as well as the pollen. I wonder if some of the flower should have been cropped out and the out of focus petals start to dominate the image. Sri Lanka baby macaque. Lots of potential, although not sharp. Nicely muted background, but the diffraction in the foreground is a bit distracting. Lion observing. There's good engagement with the subject, with realistic colour and reasonable sharpness. The diffraction on the background leaves, twigs, is a bit distracting. If you're going on safari, you get lots of opportunities to photograph the big cats, so it's important that the emotional impact is really up there. Hemicordulia australiae, century dragonfly. Well caught image of this dragonfly in flight. Sharp and with good colour, nicely muted background, only let down by the fact that it's flying out of frame and the face and eyes are not fully visible. Chlorophyllum rhacodes. Conveys a good, good image, very sharp, but compositionally the portrait format does not do the image justice, as the top of the image is just black while the foreground is blurred. A bit of judicious gardening would have helped, as the bright green leaf middle right draws the eye once you see it. Juvenile fantail. Nice and sharp with great colour. Personally, I'd be inclined to crop in to remove some of the distracting edge elements, probably top and right, nicely seen. Grey Enteloma canconicum. Nicely seen and sharp, so exhibiting good technique. Shame that the left-hand Enteloma isn't in good nick. The blurry bit at the base is distracting and that lets you down. Score 4, common dolphins. Great clarity of the water has given extra interest to this image. Good colour and reasonably sharp. I would have preferred a bit more room on the right for the dolphins to swim into. Fluffed up white-faced heron, Matuku moana. Great pose on this white-faced heron with good feather detail, nicely blurred background. Pied shag, Phallocrocorax varius, chicks in nest. Nicely seen and great that they are all well in view and with good separation of the heads. Too often one will be looking away, preening or whatever. Good background, nice coloration, it's sharp around the head, but feather detail has been lost a bit. Kotuku regurgitating shell fragments. Great shot of this white heron regurgitating, although I'm not convinced about the shell fragments. I would have preferred a greater depth of focus as it drops off very rapidly on the neck. Selvin's mollymawk, Thessalarch selvin. A good action shot of this Selvin's, although there's some loss of detail on the breast and head. rimming around the wing at rear is distracting. Score 4, giant otter. Oh, better change the picture. Excellent action shot of this giant otter. Just reminds us that these creatures are carnivores, even though they can look and act cute. Good depth of focus and acceptably sharp. Young kuru, score 5. I love this image. Very simple and often photographed, but that doesn't matter. Nicely muted background and a good tonal range. Cheetah cubs, score 5. Great action with these cheetah cubs. Great colour and quite sharp. Some loss of detail around the eye of the right-hand cub due to shadows. I debated whether cropping out the left-hand cub would have enhanced, but it would have meant too tight a crop. Kia, Nestor notabilis. Classic shot of this inquisitive Kia at the viaduct at Arthur's Pass. Good colour and good engagement. Some may quibble about the safety rail, and indeed it's a bit obvious, but the Kia landed there of its own volition. Dotterel chick. I love this. While the overbright area on the breast is distracting, the overall composition is excellent. Bit of a personal thing, but the out-of-focus foreground detracts. Some refraction, but in this case it adds the story as it gives the impassion of this little chick in an ethereal forest. Courtship display, Australasia crested grebes. Great image, can't complain about anything, well done. I think that was best in show, wasn't it? Is that best in show? Yeah. Yeah.
We might try and go through a couple of the higher images. We won't go through them all. Is this working? Yep. I think it is, yep. First image for the crested grebes. Come on. What? Oh, yeah, we can do that first. Should we do that first? Okay, sorry. Yes. I'm well organised. Okay, sorry, yep, let's really start at the beginning then, sorry, as we were. Okay, you may go. Do you want to go? You? Oh, do something. Damn it, I'm not in order. Okay, that one, sorry. Oh yeah, good idea. Yes, I'm not too bad in order. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Just going to say, you commented on it, but you see that most hotels are a little bit the same.
Oh.
No cheating there.
The next one should be. What's that one called, Alan? Thank you. Oh, I had all these in order and I've kind of stuffed it up. Yep, thank you, Paul Williams. I don't think he's here. Oh yeah, epilepsia something rather. Janet Munnings, thank you, sorry. very organised today. I know this one. This is New Zealand Shoveler by Des Armand. Except I can't find you. He's right beside you. Oh, sorry, deities. Oh no, I can't find you. I have to come back to you. Sorry. Oh my God. These aren't the acceptances, they're the acceptances. Oh, I found you. Sorry, Des. Male mallard, Peter Curtis. God, what did I do with them? Purple veiled slippery thing, John Hawkins. He's not, doesn't love us either. The drone fly. Thanks. The baby macaque. That's why I don't read them. Phew. The lion observing. Gary Chambers. And Les Arman. Okay, let me get myself organised again. Okay, we have a, what's he called, please, Alan? Oh, I know who the author is. That's lucky. Oh, yep, got him. Okay, next. Juvenile fantail. The grey interlomas. This is Shirley. I think Shirley's here tonight. The common dolphins. Trish Brown. The fluffed up white-faced heron. Bonnie. The pied shags. Do you want a chair? That's Philip Schroeder. Oh. Kotuku regurgitating shell fragments. That is a very interesting shot. And Selvin's Molly Mork by Janine McIver. I don't think she's here either. And The Giant Otter by Sue Coombs. Okay, then we've got a few honours to go through. So that's Koru, that's B. Thank you. And then we have the young cheetahs, the cheetah cubs, so that's Karen. We have the Kia, which is Jan Bogue. The dotterel chick, Dawn Kirk. And the honours and best in show goes to JK. Okay, so we will run through the top one. So JK is not here. So Dawn, have you got something that you would like to say about your little chick? I'll just pass this to you.
So it's just a little dotterel chick at Birdling's flat, and I thought I was watching it, and it went into the weeds, plants, whatever, and I thought that was it. But then he popped out, so it was very lucky.
Don't think that one's not here, eh? Who's that one? No, I think Karen's next one. Thank you.
This was in Kenya, in a Sambaru National Park. I was lucky enough, we got up really early and skipped breakfast for it because we'd heard that there was a cheetah with her cubs out and about. And we were just very lucky that we were the first vehicle there. In fact, we were the only vehicle there, and there were 6 cubs, so quite a few. And they were running around like mad. So it was really hard because I kept on putting the camera down to watch them and forgetting to take photos. And then when they'd stop, I'd take the camera anyway. But it was really fun, and because it was quite low light, I was trying to get a really fast shutter speed, so the ISO was up really high. At one point, it was 64,000, and as the sun came up more and light became, you're trying to adjust down. So I really can't remember. I'd have to look it up what my settings were, because it was quite fast moving in terms of the light, them, and just all the action that was going on. So I think I kind of held it pretty steady at about, I think, F9. And I've got no idea what the shutter speed was, because I just kept trying to push things to get enough light in. But yeah, it was fun.
And that's my image. My sister lives up on Mount Pirongia, and she told me there was some kokako up there. So we decided to go for a walk, and we found we actually know where the kokako nest is. So we just lay on the ground floor for as long as we possibly could before we finally gave up and thought, oh, we'll just wander down ever so quietly. And I just saw this little koru frond. I said, will you just walk on, Sharon? I'll catch up when I'm good and ready. And it was just in a beautiful position, and it's just basically out of camera. I haven't done anything to it. It's not focus stacked or anything. And I was just lucky enough that the background forest was just really nice and dull and dense, and it was just one of those lucky shots, really. Thank you. Was there any other high acceptances? We've got plenty of time, so let's go through a few of the others and see what others are. Janine's not here. Oh, so sorry. That's Janine. Maxine, you are. We're all dying to know about this.
It was at Okarito. We'd been hunting the local heron. Couldn't see him. Went backwards and forwards several days in a row, and finally on the last day, it's Heronius's replacement. Yeah. So on the last day, we were down at the jetty just as we were leaving, and looked back, and here he was sitting on this dead tree. And I thought, oh, and everybody's trying to get photos over the flexus to him. And I noticed this wee side path saying Fernbird Walk. You go through that, and I just went through really quietly. And I came out, and here he is. The tree is right in front of me, and there's a seat underneath it dedicated to a local environmentalist. And so I just quietly sat down, and he stood there, and I was literally looking up at him, and he let me take photos for about a quarter of an hour. But I just thought that was just so different. I'd never seen a heron do that. And I thought, I've got to put it in because it's just odd.
The pied shags. No. Bonnie.
This white-faced heron was at South Shore, and he was doing his wee fluff ups, very beautiful. But I actually had a better one, and his mouth was wide open, but it was a wee bit blurry, and I'm glad I didn't put that one in tonight. So that would have to do.
That's classic.
The dolphins. No. No.
I just spent a couple of days at Travis Swamp in the spring, and I got lots of these guys, which I really, really love. They're just so cute, but they're not competition quality. But I finally got one that was nice enough. I probably couldn't have cropped it in much more. Like he said to crop it in, but I'd cropped it in quite a bit already, and I thought I might start losing detail. But I just had such a great time.
Toby's not here. Okay, that's about us for high acceptances. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm sorry I wasn't more organised with my order of things, but I'll pass this back to Nelson.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Don't worry about the organisation. It's all come right on the night, and I'm really much aware of the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes by people in the clubs getting these things organised. So thank you very much, Nicola. A couple of things have arisen out of this presentation, and we have the time to throw them out here and see what happens. First of all, for someone who had a lens malfunction in focusing on the Lowe Thomas Winter School, I have resorted to using our topaz sharpener. Now, a lot of those early images were commented on that they were not sharp. Is it okay to use topaz sharpening in natural history? Yeah, I'll give you a new nod. So for some of you that, and a few people shaking their heads, but I think it's okay. So have a look at that. If your image is not quite right, you may be able to improve it. Some improvements are dramatic with topaz sharpening. Sometimes it doesn't seem to have a hell of a lot of effect. The second thing I noticed in the natural history was that the comments that a little bit of gardening was required to remove that green spot, or alternatively a blower brush could be used to remove those spots. Why is that permitted and not permitted to remove it with Photoshop's remove tool? Why is that? Think about that. Okay. Well, you can take it to extremes as well because of the lovely shot from the Scottish Highlands there. I kept thinking I could use a remove tool and take out that pine tree. I think that would definitely not be natural history. Okay, moving on. The next competition closing dates, we have a lovely stack of prints here because it's closing night tonight for the Open Print 3. On the 24th of June, Projected Image 6 is closing. On the 30th of June, MDC Creative Focus is closing, and you'll find other details of the national competitions on Diana's lovely emails she sends out each week. You know what's on next week, the midwinter dinner. Are there any other issues that anyone wants to raise? Anything going once? Yes.
I'd really like to thank everybody that's put their hand up for doing going for their honours next year, I've created a Facebook group, and in there everybody's got a little album with their own name. To go to that album, you just need to go into the group, go to the word media, and there's an album in there. So start dropping your images in there, and what we'll do is we'll get some of our more senior photographers in the club, and they'll be able to start commenting on our images that are in there and give us some suggestions on how we can make improvements on those images, and when we start getting a few more in there, we can start getting a bit of a flow happening. But as I said, we'll try and get together on every second and every, what did I say? I can't remember. I put it on the Facebook page, and we'll meet in that room across there so we can ask each other questions and have somebody else that can help guide us. Yes, Penny? Good idea. Yep, that's a great idea. Yep, that's true. Yep. So there's lots of room in your albums to just write what your intentions are, whether you're going for a natural history, you're intending on doing a print set or a PI set, and that'll help our export ones. Yes. If you put it in your album, then that becomes your own thread and it will stay there. We can all see your albums, each other's albums, but it won't get lost in a thread then, because by now we've got our own independent albums. And what I'm going to do is probably dump a whole lot into one album and then create a second album saying my first preferred set or something like that. And so that I've got 12 images or 10 images, however you need for what you're going to do. But I strongly suggest you go onto the PSNZ website, look at all the associate and licentiate sets that have been in past, and that'll give you a really good understanding and outlook of, and also read more about what the diversity and the flow and things like that. And there's lots of information in there, but we can all talk about that when we catch up as well. Okay.
Thank you, Nicola. Right, well, that wraps it up for the evening. It's my pleasure to give thanks to all the people who've contributed tonight, particularly John Suckling for the Simply showcase, for Nicola, of course, for the organising the natural history. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's always a pleasure to see recipients receive their awards by being here tonight. I've been polite, okay? And also thank you to the team that's put the sound and projection together, Dennis, John, Gordon, Tim, and everyone else. So with that, good night, cheers back, safe drive home.